thought our guys showed some togetherness today after being down 15 versus a very good basketball team. Doug Wojcik does a phenomenal job at Tulsa, as evident with his 4 consecutive 20-win seasons. And you know you're going to face a well-coached, disciplined team when you face one of Doug's teams. And I thought our guys did a good job of staying together throughout the first half. I mean, being down 15 and continuing to stay with our game plan, continuing to try to get stops. We struggled in the first half. They shot 52%. They shot a good percentage from three-point line, especially at the start of the game. And when you think about Harrelson, Hurt, Clarkson, I mean, those are 3 premier players. And then you got Idlet inside who can really score. They got 4 guys that you've got to be aware of. It's not like you can just focus on perimeter guys and leave the interior alone, or focus on the inside game and leave the guards alone. We knew we had to be sound in transition defense. I thought that was an area that we were pretty good.
You mentioned the early defensive kind of performance there. As usual, it looks like they were doing a lot of ball screens, so a lot of things to free guys for looks, especially on the perimeter, driving the strong side, kick the opposite side of the floor. Were you happy with kind of the defensive, the way you guys were playing defensively in terms of, like you talked about pass plays, the fundamentals there, were they just getting good looks and hitting?
I didn't think our effort was poor in the first half at all. I thought we were sound from an effort standpoint. It's still an ongoing process with us, man. I mean, we still have to become more solid on the defensive end. And there were a couple of times that our rotations weren't as crisp as they needed to be. But I thought overall our effort was good. Our resiliency was good. I thought to get the game back to a 4-point game at the half after being down 15, I was pleased with that.
It seems like you went with that small lineup. Did you guys go back to kind of the 4-man lineup in the half there? Where I think Courtney was on the floor too.
Well, and what we did, we went with Stevie and Courtney together. I thought that was good because those 2 guys really worked their feet well in there on Stephen. And we tried to front him and have good help side. I thought those 2 guys did the best as far as they've got the best feet of our post players. In order to front the post down there, that's why we're that small.
I think you did against Illinois State. You sent a lot of guards kind of helping them dig well, and I think you guys got 4 steals coming out of the block on that.
Right, and that's a tough thing when you've got a team like this that shoots it so well from 3-point line. You know, a couple times we dig him, they're off of Harrelson, he knocks down 3s, makes you pay for him. But you've got to get the ball out of the post. I mean, Stephen's so good in there, and he's done such a good job developing as a player.
And I think you mentioned it against Illinois State too. You like that line just because you can spread the floor and do things really well after quickness. Do you feel like that was the case there, where you're either getting in transition and using that quickness?
Well, I think number one, on the defense, in the second half, we got some stops, which enabled us to get out and run. It's hard to run unless you're getting stops. And I thought that was really important. I also thought we did a good job of sharing the basketball. The ball really moved early in the second half, and that's where we struggled a little bit late. The ball got stagnant. You've got to give them credit. I mean, they're a very sound team on both ends of the floor. They're a great rebounding team, as evident today. You're going to be 12 on the glass. They got 16 offensive rebounds.
You mentioned, I think, their trio of shooters. Hurt was kind of locked down in the second half, and I think Clarkson, for the most part, was kind of kept in check. Did you do anything differently in the second half to try and slow them down? Is that just, I mean, because they did have some.
Yeah, we were still digging, trying to keep the ball out of the post. I mean, that's something. When you come out of the Missouri State game, we get beat 36-6 points in the paint. I mean, you can't be successful with those kind of numbers. And I thought they got out to a good start. They were up 10-4 points in the paint to start with, and we ended up the game 28 or 26-18 us points in the paint in favor. And I thought that was very important to the outcome of the game.
A little bit near the end there, what is it? I think the guy shot 2 of 8 down the stretch. Obviously they're getting second chance. Idlet was getting going inside. Just sort of your thoughts. You mentioned the offensive kind of ball.
And I think you've got to give Tulsa credit. They showed some resiliency on the road. They're an extremely well-coached team. They're sound defensively, and I think we played into their hands a little bit by not moving the balls as well as what we needed to.
Can you talk a little about, I think you talked about just the best plays, resiliency, consistency, toughness.
And it's an ongoing process. I mean, and I won't get excited over our consistency until we see it over time. And that's what we're in search of. We've got to become a sound basketball team from possession to possession on both ends of the floor, and a lot more solid on both ends of the floor.
Landry Smith's not, I think most people are going to say it's the toughest player in the world, but what are you looking for to come out of this game? Is it just maintaining that focus of that kind of just basic principles?
That's exactly right. I mean, to be able to play from 4-minute game, from 4-minute media timeout to next media timeout. We weren't very good to start with. I think they won the first 3 4-minute games, and then we won the last 2 going into the half. And that's what we're in search of, consistency from those media timeouts.
You had mentioned a couple weeks ago, somebody asked the Courtney to play very much of the day. He sort of, I think, made a reappearance. Can you talk a little about his game today and sort of what that means?
Courtney's going to be a very good player for us. And he gives great effort every time he comes to the floor. And I thought today he leaned on his constants. When we talk about constants, being able to defend and rebound. We got some good offensive rebounds in the first half, and that's what he does well for us.
And also the split guard play where he a little bit of DeAndre's game today, and just sort of.
And I thought DeAndre was very good on both ends of the floor. I thought he did a good job digging in the post. He closed some gaps. He valued the basketball on the offensive end. He's had 6 assists, no turnovers, and that's what you want from